So today I have a foundation review, and I'm excited to test out this Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation. It has hyaluronic acid, and it's for medium to full coverage. It looks like this, and it's pretty inexpensive. I want to say it was like $9, but it does come with like a pump, and I'm just excited to try a new full coverage. I feel like I've just been wearing BB creams like crazy this summer, but I'm kind of getting into that fall-winter mindset, and hopefully being out and about more, and I don't know. I just want to try something new because I haven't done a foundation review in a long time now, so I figured I would try this one. Now, it was hard to shade match because you can't go in store and like swatch things anymore because of the whole coronavirus thing. So I'm hoping this shade works. I have it in F8. So what I'm going to do first is put on a primer, and I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Color Correcting Face Primer, just because I do have some redness here, a little bit on my forehead and right on my chin. But I feel like I might put it on just half my face and see what happens as usual. This one's definitely more tacky. Now this side isn't tacky, so we'll see if that changes the texture of the foundation. I'm going to go ahead and use it with my foundation brush because I like that better than using a sponge. I could use a sponge. Maybe I will grab a sponge. Yeah. I'll try half with a sponge and half with my brush. So I'll go in with one little pump here and apply it directly on the side. Oh, I feel like this is pinkier than I thought it was going to be. Definitely too light and pink. In like the packaging, it looks closer to my skin tone, but I don't know. This is definitely too light, but I can bronze it up, so that's fine. I'm gonna bring it down my neck just to like lighten that up a bit. Yeah, definitely the wrong color, if you can see. This side to this side. But coverage-wise, let's see what we're working with here. That was one pump, and I feel like it blended on my whole face. Definitely visible to me because it's a different shade. What else? It's covering every imperfection, though. I mean, I know that it's like the wrong shade for me, but it's definitely full coverage because that literally covered everything. And it was one little pump. I don't have to go in and reapply more with that. So let's see if it's a different thing with a sponge. I'm going to do one pump as well. Usually I just do one pump for my whole face, so maybe it may be too much, but it won't feel as weird as long as it's all that same color, even though I know it's too light. I also tanned outside a little bit, so I am more tan than when I purchased this, but I still thought it was a lot darker. I don't know if on camera it's picking up like the color being so different, but in person it is a big difference. I feel like the sponge did take away a little bit because I see more redness here. I don't know. But it still is like medium coverage. So I'm going to go in with a tiny little bit on my foundation brush. That tiny little bit. And just go over it more with the brush. But I do like the application of the brush better. But in my opinion, I normally do. It doesn't feel tacky. It doesn't feel thick though. That's like what's throwing me off. I know it's the wrong shade and that's hard to get by, but the formula of this is nice. It doesn't feel cakey on my skin. And the fact that it's giving this much coverage is awesome for the price point. It does have a glow to it, like it says. Now, the hydrating aspect of it, I don't feel like it's hydrating. It feels like a normal foundation to me. But I like that it's not just a matte formulation. I don't know. I kind of like the coverage and the color because my nose is really red and it kind of tamed that down. And now that it's all blended on my face, like I know it's lighter, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be when I just had it on one side. I'm going to put on the rest of my makeup and see how it feels with a little bit of powder on some areas. I might do like powder on this side and no powder on that side just to see through the wear time of the day what actually will affect it. But so far, I think I really like this foundation. Again, wrong color, but the formulation of it, I think is pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna do my makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have my makeup on, I just want to say that I like the overall feeling of this foundation. Like, I added powder to this side of my face, just on the chin, a little bit on the forehead. In the T-zone, I did put some more on this side too, because my T-zone is always just, looks oily, but doesn't feel oily. It's just really weird. But there is still a sheen to my skin. I did add highlighter, blush, do my eye makeup and all that stuff, but I don't know. Overall, it looks very, very hydrated, but it doesn't feel cakey, and it is very full coverage. Like, I didn't have to build it up. I felt like I used a tiny little bit, and it worked great. And applying everything, again, wrong shade match, but it blended in a lot better than I thought it would. So I'm impressed with it so far. I'm going to do an all-day wear test with it, of course, for you guys, just to see if it starts like breaking apart or getting super oily or what the deal is. But my first impressions right now is it's a great foundation for the price, like a drugstore. I mean, I know that they don't sell it everywhere, but I got mine at Ulta, so it's still really accessible even online. The only thing is the shade range is a little bit difficult to figure out. I feel like the packaging doesn't help way too much because it is like a cloudy kind of packaging, so you can't really see the color for what it is. It just kind of looks like the shade at the very bottom, but I don't know, I still felt like that's the sticker and not what's actually on the inside, so that's a bummer because I really did like try really hard to match my skin tone. But overall, the look and feel of it is great. So yeah, it's not like accentuating anything. It's not in my fine lines. It covered everything pretty well. So I will check back with you guys in a lot of hours, probably in like 8 to 10 hours, I would say, to give this like a good review. So I'll see you guys in the future. Hey guys, so it's been 8 hours since I first put on this foundation, and I've got to say it has worn beautifully throughout the day. I had a mask on for like a total of 2 to 3 hours on and off today, and even with the mask, it was so hot. It's obviously super hot outside. It's summertime. I felt sweaty everywhere, and my foundation is still pretty much intact. Like, usually I get super red right here. I don't feel like it's that red at all. It's minimally like pink at the most. Usually that's where all foundations break off on me. I don't feel like it's settled into any fine lines whatsoever. I feel like it's still really covered. The only place that it's like missing is like right here on my nose, and that's because of the mask. I kept like pinching it to make sure it was like on and tight and properly fit to my face. So of course it's gonna wear off there. But even on the sides, I feel like it stayed pretty well. The only place that it looks even a little bit greasy was my T-zone, and that happens with most foundations. But it doesn't feel cakey or gross or oily whatsoever on me, which is crazy because it's hydrating, and I do feel like my skin is hydrated, but it doesn't feel oily over time. It doesn't break apart. Like, even around my nose, it didn't break apart. On my chin, it didn't really break apart. Like, looking right now, yeah. I feel like everything is still even toned. I know it's the wrong shade for me, obviously, but I do want to repurchase it, but in the correct shade, just because I like it so much. And I feel like I really put it through the test of everything today. Like, this was a wear test for real, because of the mask, because of the heat, and wearing it for such a long time. I have no complaints on it whatsoever. And I feel like even if you have oily skin, you might like this hydrating like foundation, just because, again, like I said, it doesn't feel oily, it doesn't feel gross. You may want to like powder extra on your T-zone, but that's about it. Like, and I feel like, remember I put the primer and the powder on this side, I don't feel like there's a difference on either side. I feel like it looks like I did the same exact thing to both sides. So that's great, because I didn't powder this side of my face. I did powder more of my T-zone, and it still is a little bit oily looking, but to me it doesn't look oily. I think it looks more dewy, and I like a dewy foundation, so maybe that's what I like. Now, if you really like a matte foundation, then you probably won't like it. But if you are someone with oily skin that does like a dewy finish, but you don't want it to feel super like gross and disgusting, then like I said, you would probably like this. So I think for the price point, I got mine at Ulta, but I'm pretty sure it was like $9. Most $11.99. I don't pay that much for foundations normally. If anything, it was like $14.99, and I got a coupon for it to make it like $11, and Ulta always has that $3.50 off of $15, I want to say. So I'm telling you, it's under $15. This is great. And I feel like I'm going to use this shade. I'm not going to like give this one away, because in the winter months, I'm a lot paler, and I feel like I can really work with this and use it. But I definitely want to get a different shade. And I probably won't use it still that much in the summer months, because I don't really use full coverage foundations that much in the summer. But I use like BB creams or CC creams. But like I said, in the winter, I love a full coverage foundation. I don't know why that is, to be honest with you. I guess because when you're tanner, your skin looks better. I don't know what it is. But that's everything for that. And an extra like bonus feature, I use this LA Girl Pro Artistry eyeshadow palette today on my eyes. I'm like working on a video. I don't know if it'll be up first, or if this foundation video will be up first. Either way, it'll either be the next one, or I'll link it above. But this is what I have on my eyes right now, and I had this on for 8.5 hours too, and I feel like this is pretty good for green eyeshadow. $14.99, no fallout. That's what I love about this. And I feel like the price point is great. So that's just an extra bonus thing, because I'm loving that. And like I said, you'll probably see in the next video me rave about it. But if you don't want to watch that, that's a hot tip for you. They're great palettes. So that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you guys.